That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
It's crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 152 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Joe Byron.
Knew you're gonna fucking use that, you son of a bitch. Anyway, and we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and hat. But before we do, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And David, do you want to start? Since you got a couple, you got more than me today.
Yeah, I got three. Woman named Crystal Methvin arrested for having crystal meth.
Her name is Crystal Methin?
Methvin.
How can you spell that?
It is Methvin.
Oh, Methvin.
Methvin.
Okay, because Crystal's a real name.
Yeah.
Well, do you think she legally changed her last name to Methvin, or do you think it's always been Methvin and her parents are crystal Methvin addicts?
You know, I really think it. She probably just had the reputation and changed it. She was probably on crystal meth when she changed it. I don't know.
I don't know if people on crystal meth go to the courthouse.
You would be surprised. I think most people
paperwork.
on crystal meth go to the courthouse.
Okay. I take that back. I don't think they're willingly going to the courthouse to fill out paperwork. You're right. There are times where people on crystal meth are at the courthouse, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was only a matter of time, I guess.
You won't get snatched up.
Yeah, they're gonna check your pockets. Like that's why I legally changed my name from Hot Dog Sanchez to Alex Tobin. Just like all the dogs followed me through the neighborhood.
The dogs smell it on you.
That's Hot Dog Sanchez.
Doesn't matter how many plastic bags you got, they gonna smell it.
I'd pull them out like it'd be like an old western town, and I'd grab the like a 6-shooter, grab the hot dog real quick.
Yeah,
they'd know. They smelled me.
Do a couple tricks with it, fling it around.
Oh, have you seen that guy who flips it like a guitar? He flips it around his knuckles like a pirate, like with a coin in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was gonna say a 6th grader with a pen, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. I'm thinking of when his hand goes in the moonlight and it turns into the skeleton.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, Johnny Depp's skeleton now?
He's always been a skeleton. He died in
always
1932.
He's always been sort of a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's pretty cool about the meth thing. I saw a lady attack a judge after she sentenced her.
It's a really bad news line.
Oh, no, wait. Before she sentenced her. Oh, no, I'm not reading my story, but I'm just thinking about that. It was the judge was like, can you, like, stop doing that? And she's like, fuck you. And I was like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, judges are, like, real high up on their horse. They think you're, like, your honor. Like,
they've got a little wood mallet. They think they're hot shit. They wear a dress. Like, come on.
Yeah, they swing the gavel around like that fucking guy in the Mario Bros game in the cloud when he throws the hammers at you.
And they're all old. What's up with that? Why? If I'm going to jail, I want like a millennial sending me.
I want like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, I don't want this old piece of shit telling me what to do.
He's like, the jury finds you cringe. Sorry, loser, you're cringe pilled. Yeet him.
Yeah, then the crowd cheers yeet him.
Yeetums. That would be pretty cool. I have to.
Let's make a TV show called Teens Court.
Teen Court. They got Judge Judy. She's like, speaking of skeletons, she's still got a show. Why can't we give a young person a show? A judge.
I don't know.
A judge. Is it like a presidency where you have to be over a certain age?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, little sidebar. Have you ever seen that cool judge, that like nice judge that pops up every once in a while on YouTube? And he's like, teen has traffic ticket, but he's good at football, so the judge is nice to him. And he's like, and the judge is like, you play football? And the kid's like, yeah, I play football. And he's like, you seem like a good kid. I'm going to waive it. You know what? I'm going to give you $40 out of my pocket.
He's kind of
And
an
like,
older, heavy-set white guy.
He seems like an older like Jewish guy from like Cleveland or something like that.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
like-
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, he kind of pops up every once in a while, but I just feel like now I want to see him like throw the book at someone hard.
Oh, just rock him.
Yeah, like he's having a bad day and someone's like, "Oh, you like ran a stoplight," and he's like 4 years in prison. He's like, I just want to see him be not nice because now he's stuck being the nice judge. And like people see like, who do I got? Like you got Judge McAllister, and he's like, oh my god, that's the nice judge. And then he shows up and he's fucking pissed. Like he's so mad that day.
So mad. So I googled it. There is a 35-year minimum to be a federal judge.
Oh, is that like Yep.
I don't know, but it's weird. When I googled, is there an age minimum for being a judge? And the next suggestion under was in India.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
See, the weird thing
Yeah.
about like, you know, like when people come over from India and they're like, I had to go, like I was a doctor in India and I came over here and like now my doctorate doesn't like cross over.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you go to India, can you just be a judge? Is that what they're saying?
You think there's that many judges coming over from India to make it the second searched thing?
A lot of Indian judges.
we're crawling with them, man. We can't get rid of them. There's not
Some
enough
guy-
crime.
Some guy shows up at like some racist guy shows up at like the community thing. He's like, too many Indian judges in my neighborhood. And you're like, what? Where do you live?
South Dakota?
They've been vandalizing my car. It has a bunch of little dents in it from the gavels. Like, what? Everybody in my family has little bumps on their heads, like cartoon characters.
They're all hairless.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing with the little hair. Yeah, boulder fall on your head, you get a little bump. Break my neck. Anyway, let's jump to the next one before we get into all these judges. Woman allegedly breastfeeds cat on Delta Airlines flight. I fly Delta, and that's what you get when you fly Delta. You get dinner and a show. Okay.
I was saving that one for last.
Oh, you got that one.
Oh yeah, that's I mean, how could you not?
I mean, let's tag team this one then because
I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. Well, because it's really good because I skimmed it real quick, but basically what happened was somebody of course TikTok's always fucking involved with anything on the news. There's like TikTok, but I guess somebody like went on TikTok and they made a video and they said that it says, quote, this woman had one of those like hairless cats swaddled up in a blanket so it looked like a baby. Ansley Elizabeth said in a follow-up video posted on November 13th. Her shirt was up and she was trying to get the cat to latch and she couldn't put the cat back in the carrier and the cat was screaming for its life. And then she asked, what does she do at home if she's doing that in public?
Nothing calms a cat like mother's milk.
She's like, cats like milk. But like, it's just crazy.
Does anybody have a saucer? I'm looking for a saucer.
What's a saucer?
It's a small dish.
It's a plate.
It's like it's
Is it a
like
deep plate?
No, I think it's a very shallow bowl, like a small shallow bowl.
Are you telling me it's not a deep plate, but it's a shallow bowl?
No, because you eat like
Is a square a rectangle, but a rectangle, not a square?
You eat the spaghetti out of a deep plate. You drink mother's milk out of a shallow bowl.
Okay, mother's milk out of a shallow bowl. What about daddy's cream?
Daddy's cream goes on the skin.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
You asked.
Yeah, I've been getting some DMs about daddy's cream. Somebody messaged us about daddy's cream recently.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. To continue the daddy's cream story.
Oh,
I went in for like the 5th time.
Where?
It's the fucking pharmacy.
Oh, okay. The
And,
Daddy Cream store. I don't know what they got up there in Oregon.
I was still looking for Daddy's Cream, and I wait another 45 minutes, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just give us a minute, we'll have it." And I'm like, "Finally, Daddy's gonna get his cream."
You're running into this problem again?
It hasn't ended. It's so then they come back, and the guy pulls out a box. I'm like, "Oh, that's not Daddy's Cream."
He pulled out a box of cream? That might have been a copious amount of Daddy's Cream.
And I was like, "Oh, I don't think that's the right stuff." And he goes, "Yeah, this is what it says." I was like, "Okay."
He opens it. It's like blue.
What?
Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like something that's very not Daddy's Cream, right?
Yeah.
I assume the cream is white.
Of course, Daddy's Cream is always white.
You need to stop. This man needs to be stopped.
And so I take this box home, and it's just something completely different. I don't know what
You
it
didn't
is.
open the box?
I was so frantic.
You
I
get
was
scared at the
nervous.
pharmacy. You get nervous at the pharmacy.
Yeah, there's a line. The line was long too, so I just took what he gave me. I got home, and it was like it was like for my it was like for it was like for my hair, and I'm like, Dad doesn't need cream for my scalp. Daddy needs cream for his hands.
It's
What is this?
preemptively. He's like, it's gonna spread. Trust me.
Well,
I'm just
I
thinking-
told the guy. No, I talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, it's for your scalp." And I was like, "Oh, there's no problem with my scalp." And he's like, "Oh, yeah. I mean, you can try it where you need it."
Wait. So he told you it was for your scalp, and you still brought it home?
I already
And
paid for it,
What the fuck?
and he told me it was what the doctor ordered.
It's what the- Did he also give you an apple?
He didn't tell me to
Apple a
get an
day.
apple.
Apple a day. What the doctor ordered.
Yeah.
It's the most cliche shit I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, they order in prescriptions, but yeah. So now I've got
You're
some
right.
fucking
I guess that's where the term comes from, huh?
got some shit for my hair. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I kind of created like a scenario for you in my head
Yeah.
where you get flustered, at the pharmacy, and you're crying as you walk up to the front counter, and the guy goes, "Are you okay?" And you just go, "I just checked my blood pressure and it's not good." Because you know they have the blood pressure machines at
gives you the
every
big
pharmacy.
Squeeze.
Oh, the big squeezes. I like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I get mad that they let go.
Yeah, you put one of those half gallons of milk in there and you push the machine on. It's a good time.
It's hard to get your neck in there. That's the hard part. But I like a good milk rocket.
Yeah,
That's how you get the cream,
yeah.
the squeeze cream. Anyway, where were we?
North
You-
Korea.
No, did you have a story? Or was that just
I
off
do.
the second story?
That was where we're talking about mother's milk, and we got into Daddy's Cream.
Wow, yeah, this is all over the place. We're
Yeah.
creating our own news.
Yeah. North Korea bans leather coats to stop citizens from trying to copy their leader's iconic look.
I saw that, which is kind of horseshit because like he knows the Matrix is about to come out, right?
Oh no, he's just trying to grab that
The
duster
dusters-
look.
Yeah, the Duster's about to go big, and now he's like, "I'm Neo," and you're like, "You're not Neo."
What's
But,
funny
like-
is this coat that he's wearing in this picture. He looks more like the Red Skull, which was basically a Nazi.
He looks like, yeah, no, Vigo. Wait, no, not Vigo Mortensen.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of Matrix, that's the same dude in the Matrix.
Yeah.
No, it's not Vigo Mortensen. That's Strider. That's Aragorn. Oh my God, what's his name? Red Skull. Red Skull. You guys are screaming it.
Dinosaur Man.
Red Skull actor. What's his name?
Well, be
Mother
careful because
effer?
they switched actors.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Hugo Weaving, not Vigo. It's Hugo.
There it is.
Hugo.
But yeah, no, they switched actors on Red Skull.
Shut up.
It's a different dude in the Infinity Wars Endgame.
Is it because they
couldn't afford him?
Oh, Hugo Weaving dishes why he didn't play Red Skull. Oh, that's interesting. Why? Because it was like 2 seconds, or you said that they didn't pay him enough?
I think he wanted too much to do the 2 seconds.
I mean, I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, you kind of need me for this part, huh? You already wrote the script?
And then no one even noticed that they switched out the actors.
I know. It's kind of a bummer. I mean, they're like, your heavy prosthetic. Your head is literally a red skull.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the Duster's cool, but like, how hot is it or cold is it in North Korea?
It's pretty cold, I believe.
Maybe the Duster is a move. Damn, how can you ban that? Well, what would be your style icon if you like slippers or something?
If I was like a leader and I had to come up with like my...
You get one piece of clothing.
Monocle.
But now if you don't wear it, are people like bitter at you? Like, he banned it, he's not even fucking wearing it.
Oh, you think I'd take it off?
Oh, you'd have it like Chester fucking Cobblepot. You get it like embedded in your fat face.
I would staple it on in.
Be like Penguin, just like always have it on.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Penguin with that fucking jacket on.
Eating raw fish and shit. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Got a lot of pockets in there.
Yeah. So I got one more thing I want to bring up before we get started.
Oh, I got one more story too.
Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Senior citizen charged with having unnatural sex with goat.
I'm pretty sure all sex with goats are unnatural.
No, that's what you think. Nothing. No. Love's love.
All right. Where is this old man?
See, that's what we were trying to figure out. It says Kalu Kabu Baharu, a senior citizen today pleaded not guilty at the Sessions Court here to a charge of having unnatural sex with a female goat at the back of his neighbor's house last July. So he was...
Oh, he's banging
60.
his neighbor's goat.
Yeah, he's 60.
The goat next door.
Oh, at Kampong Sagwa Boya Rawang, Jesus. Anyway,
Got a bad case of the raw wang.
I'm thinking this might be somewhere like we were thinking like, geez, I don't know, like Burma? No, not Burma. I don't know where this is.
Indonesia?
Yeah, it could be like Indonesia or something like that. But
or like into goats.
Oh, raw. So, she said, oh, okay. So I think she found like a shirt and trousers in the back. And
well, he was really getting into it if he even took the shirt off. Holy shit.
I think he was full on naked. I mean, here's the thing. There's no way if you like sometimes if you're doing the dirty by yourself in the room, you gotta like kind of keep a certain standard of clothing near you just in case someone walks in. Yeah. I don't think there's any way of like pulling up your pants behind a goat that looks natural where you're like, oh, this is
checking it for Lyme's disease.
Exactly. It's your goat sick. I just checked its temperature. It's sick. It's real sick.
Piping hot in here.
I'm Hot Dog Sanchez, and that dog is sick. I mean, that goat's sick. And that dog's sick, too, by the way. Your dog is sick, too. So, but apparently, she heard the goat making weird noises in the backyard or some shit, and she went back there, and, oh, okay. She said she found a half-naked man. So he might have just thrown on his shirt, maybe heard her coming, or maybe or maybe she heard him coming.
He could have been pulling the ultimate
what
finesse move. He could have had the hat, the gloves, and the socks and shoes still on.
Yo, he fucking killed the goat. Upon realizing the presence of the woman, the suspect fled the scene. On checking, the woman found that the goat was dead.
Jesus.
Shit. Well, they got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I don't know how to pivot.
All right, I'll talk about what I want to talk about
Because
real
I'm
quick.
stuck in a goat. That's why I can't pivot. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go. Goat.
I gotta ask you, did you watch the newest Kid Rock music video?
Dude, yes, 3 times. Oh, dude, Weird Al was tweeting about that.
That's
was like-
when you know it's bad.
Weird Al's like, I did not dress up as Kid Rock and release a song. What is the song called? You Can't Tell Me What to Do?
I think that.
Oh, no. It's called, because the chorus is the worst chorus I've ever heard in my fucking life. It goes, nobody's gonna tell me how to live. And it's like, it's him being like,
Yeah, Don't Tell Me How to Live featuring Monster Truck.
is that the guy?
It's featuring Monster Truck.
He blasts off on a middle finger as he's like flipping everybody off.
No. It's a rocket ship. He joins the space race.
What did I say?
Well, hold on. He's sitting on the rocket.
Yeah.
He's not inside of this space
No.
shuttle. He's sitting on top of it. His left arm holding a bottle of what I would assume is whiskey.
Maybe Terramana.
No. God, no. Kid Rock doesn't drink anything but whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And especially from Kentucky whiskey only. And he's cradling the middle finger with his left arm while holding a bottle. And then it appears he is firing off maybe a Desert Eagle
Yeah, it looked like that.
towards Earth, just hurling bullets at people.
It's just so weird because Kid Rock was kind of one of those people who started off like, I mean, early Kid Rock. I don't think many people remember this Kid Rock. I was like a toddler, but I did a little research after like finding that video and like, he had like the Joe Dirt face. Anyway, so he started off as like kind of like more entrenched in like hip hop culture. He looked like Vanilla Ice coming up, and he wasn't like a country guy. He was like more in like urban hip hop black culture. Like he was like, I'm Vanilla Ice. I'm wearing the big chain. I'm like Run DMC like style. And then he kind of slowly went into this like weird, like I'm wearing a lot of fur and leather and bucket hats. Like,
Yeah.
if you watch like that Woodstock 99 video, you're like, what the fuck is he wearing? But like, that's where he got real popular. And then he made like a hard left into like country, Alabama, like rock rap. And then now he's in like deep state QAnon rap where he's just like, he's like off his rocker. But I just remember like a couple years ago he had that fucking song that was like, it was 1983, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
That is a good song.
I know.
That's a good song.
I mean, most of that song is Sweet Home Alabama, but like it's still good. It's like it's a good remix, and I was like, oh, and it was kind of like pop. And I feel like the same thing that's happening to Kid Rock is happening to Nelly now.
Well, okay.
Because he's doing all those songs of Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I saw him at a concert. Like, he was like in the South, and I was like, it's only a matter of time before Nelly starts rocking like the rebel flag, and he's like, fuck you. If you want to come and take a ride with me, you got to get unvaccinated first. And you're like, oh shit, man.
Science is fake.
But it's pretty. I love a good career trajectory that just doesn't pan out the way you thought it was going to be. I mean, he's doing great. He's got a lot of money. He's got a big audience too. I'm not saying he's doing bad. I'm just saying what a career trajectory. Started off one place, ended up someplace completely different with a lot of masks in the middle, you know?
Well, what's funny about Kid Rock is a lot of his earlier stuff talks about growing up in the streets of Detroit.
Exactly.
But what people don't know is he comes from a very wealthy family.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Do you know Eminem was like, he like looked up to Kid Rock? Kid Rock was like this shit when Eminem was like trying to make it big, and he like went up to Kid Rock and he's like, yo, like check out my demo tape. And Kid Rock's like, oh, like he kind of like blew him off. He's like, oh, I can't. But like he was like a Detroit rapper at the time, like you said, but I didn't know he's from an affluent family.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I'm from he claims the South. I'm like, dude, you're from Detroit. Like, what?
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we're off topic. You guys find this interesting, right? We're not just, you guys like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people turn it off after the news.
Well, if you don't like this, guess what? Nobody's gonna tell me how to live. You're welcome. Dude, that song sucks.
It's so bad.
It sucks so much.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I feel like we're getting like a golden age of like shitty songs, like with the rock song. It's
Yeah.
my drive. It's my power. Like, man, it's a golden era. Take
Yeah.
note.
To put in perspective, Kid Rock's childhood home had a roundabout on the property.
Oh, come on. Did he have a golf cart too?
Probably. It has a goddamn tennis court, in-ground pool.
Oh, I love that.
22-room house.
Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me?
A 3-stall horse barn.
I mean, a little country, but a little bit of rock and roll too, you know? Don't get wrong. Yeah. Kid Rock is a weird name. It was cool at the time.
Now I'm just on his childhood home Zillow page. House is nice.
I'm going to buy his house and then burn it to the ground and go, nobody's going to. Just fucking do it. It's good.
It's good.
It's real good. Anyway, should we get into these stories before you tell me how to live?
Do you want to? I mean, you can't tell me how to live.
Where's your goat? Nobody's gonna tell me how to live.
Or how to kill.
Or, yeah, that goat dead. Shit. Do you think they ate that goat?
I would hope not.
Just cut the back half off.
That's tainted meat.
Just carve it out.
That's not like a stray hot dog you find at a baseball game. You can't just eat it from the other end.
That's true. You might. Yeah, he might have got to the mouth already too, to be honest.
Christ.
Anyway, so should we?
Oh my God.
Let's do this. Ready?
I don't know. I don't know if I can do this anymore.
I'm not done with all the horribleness because I'm getting into my story right now.
You did give me a warning before. You're like, yeah, it's kind of a.
It's not bad, but it's like bad, but
It's not good.
It's allegedly bad, and like once you kind of figure out what's going on, you're like, okay, it's not that bad, but it's a sensitive subject. Anyway, so let's get into it. So while looking, I should start. So David, how did I miss that? So David, while looking into strange conspiracy theories and crimes, I came across one that sparked my interest. This particular case interested me not only because it took place right in my own backyard of the small coastal city of Manhattan Beach, but also because of the wild allegations that followed the case. I just want to make clear now that this case may have sensitive themes to it because sex crimes against children are involved. I have to say that. But like I said, it will make a lot more sense in a little bit. But I also want to make clear that the reason I'm even telling the stories because it's assumed that this case is a giant conspiracy theory full of false claims and wild speculation, like Pizzagate, It's kind of like funny how crazy this is, but it's not funny at the core of a real issue.
You're going to look like an idiot when Pizzagate turns out real.
So take all the graphic details, not many graphic details, and accusations with a gigantic boulder-sized grain of salt. But also, as a side note, believe people when they speak of sexual assault and help them gain any form of evidence against said people or persons in order to legally handle the situation. I took my lawyer hat off now. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the insane conspiracy crime known as the McMartin Preschool Incident. So, 51-year-old Virginia McMartin and her family founded and ran the McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California in 1983, where gaggles of children would come through year after year to learn the basic skills to head into the school system. David, did you go to preschool?
Yeah.
I think you're a liar.
No, I did. I got photos to prove it.
I went to a preschool called, I'm not even fucking kidding, Children's Workshop.
Mine was Big Little School. That'd make no fucking sense.
See, I was making iPhones and you were just chewing on a cinder block, it sounds like.
Nah, we were covering balloons with shaving cream and trying to shave them without popping it. And then we got to shave the teacher.
There's no way you did that.
I have I have photographic evidence. I will text my mother right now.
Why did they give a preschooler a fucking razor to possibly, and like, to teach them to be like, oh, you shave your face with this? Like, you don't need to know that for another, like, 15 years.
Yeah.
Not 15.
Hey, the kids who did
10?
it without popping got to shave the teacher. It was cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really fun.
What parts?
All of it.
He's like, I'm a swimmer. You're like, okay. Anyway, so, you want to know a fun story about me from preschool? They
Not
called
entirely.
in my mom because they said during circle time I was farting really loudly and laughing. So they fucking called in my mom and they're like, this is an issue.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, you can't fart in circle time. And I'm like, why?
And
Still?
she's like, Alex, I honestly don't have an answer to why you can't. They just won't let you. I don't know.
You know what I said to her? Nobody gonna turn. Okay, so her daughter, Peggy McMartin, Bucky, was an administrator, and Bucky's son, Ray Bucky. So it goes Peggy and then Ray. So it's Mama Virginia, her daughter Peggy, and then her son Ray. And Ray Bucky was a teacher at the school. So mom was an administrator, and son was a teacher. Grandma ran the shit. Everything at the school seemed to be going swimmingly until a woman named Judy Johnson, mother of a 2-year-old little boy who attended the school, came forward to the police with information about the school. Apparently, Judy Johnson noticed that her son began to have painful bowel movements and that he had an irritation on his bottom. She immediately went to the police station and accused her estranged husband and teacher at McMartin Preschool, Ray Bucky, had sexually assaulted her son. So, like, first off, I'm like, oh, that's real bad. Like, on the surface, that's real fucking bad. But it's also like, it's her estranged husband. So you go, okay, there might be some, like, revenge, kind of ill will, bad feelings towards this, but it doesn't mean it's not real. But what happened next is still disputed. Apparently, some sources state that at the time, Johnson's son denied her suggestion that his preschool teachers had molested him, whereas others say he confirmed the abuse. So basically, they're saying there's two stories where the kid said, the mom's like, you have this on your bottom, and the kid was like, yeah, he did this. And other people are saying that he was like, no, that never happened. But we're going to get into Judy Johnson, because Judy Johnson had a very alarming accusation that was to be taken extremely serious by the police, and it was. But the issue was in what she said after her sexual assault claims. Because Judy then claimed to the police that day, Judy then claimed to the police that the daycare worker at McMartin Preschool, her husband, that all of them actually at McMartin Preschool were having sex with animals, that the school administrator, Peggy Bucky, Ray's mom, quote unquote, drilled a child under the arms. I don't know what that means. Maybe like popped him in the ribs, like drilled him, like a rib shot, right?
Well,
drilled a child under the arms? Is that a thing?
Having sex with someone's like armpit?
I don't think so. I mean, it is a woman, Peggy. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how I was like, I know how that works for a man. I know exactly the anatomy to do that. And, my favorite, she also claimed that Ray Bucky, her estranged husband and accused molester, could fly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talk about a double-edged sword.
Oh, we're about to get into some fucking insane accusations a little bit later. So Ray Buckey was immediately questioned about the claims, but was not prosecuted due to the lack of evidence. But that did not stop the police from trying to obtain evidence by sending a form letter to about 200 parents of students at the McMartin School, stating that their children might have been abused and asking the parents to question their children, which is a very good process. If a red flag comes up, it's horrible because it ruins the preschool's reputation immediately, even if it's not true, but it's really good to, check on this kind of situation. Yeah. So the letter consisted of claims and questions of possible sexual assault under the pretense of temperature checks, photos being taken of the children, and Ray being alone with the children or being seen tying up a child, which is kind of like, what the fuck?
Red flag, yeah.
I feel like a child would immediately be like, teacher tied up Jim. I don't know why they're Southern.
Where was this again?
California.
That's right.
Manhattan Beach.
You never know.
I don't know.
Method actors.
Well, Jim was from Alabama. So what police did not know at the time, though, was that shortly after these accusations, Judy Johnson was hospitalized and diagnosed with acute paranoid schizophrenia, as well as a very serious alcohol problem. So we're about to, like I said, you kind of knew where it was going when she immediately was like, oh, they're having sex with animals and he can fly. Because we're kind of touch on it a little bit, but this was during Satanic Panic.
I wonder if those are connected.
What?
Having sex with animals and being able to fly.
I mean, did that guy with the goat get away?
Maybe the powers hadn't developed yet.
You're right. I feel like he was running down the street and he was kind of he was getting he's like a chicken where he's getting a little bit off the ground and then kind of coming back down. He's like, come on. And he's just like,
you know who did fly?
Who?
Mr. Hands.
Who the fuck is that?
Never mind.
Is that the guy who fucked that horse?
Yeah.
The horse fucked him.
Yeah.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, he flew all the way to heaven.
Wait, is Mr. Hands the horse or the man?
The man.
Oh, it is. Okay. He did fly. I don't know if he flew to heaven, actually.
And then crashed right back down the hill.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. Did he... Oh, my God, I can't believe I'm defending this man. Did he hurt any animal in that? The horse hurt him, for sure, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't believe he hurt any animal physically.
Do you think that horse got a taste for human, like when an animal gets a taste for human blood?
No.
He's like, wow, that was different. That was real different. So like I said, let's get back to the story. So at this what? Dude, we're down the rabbit hole. We're done.
I know.
So, but it's going to get real funny soon. I swear.
Okay, good.
So at this point, I know I didn't want to choose. I chose this story because I was like, this is a crazy story because of the big things. And I was like, oh, it's kind of a sensitive topic, but there's really crazy shit going on here. So at this point, over 360 children were brought in by the Children's Institute International, the CII, a Los Angeles-based abuse therapy clinic, where they were able to interview the children about the events. But the only issue was that the interviewing techniques used during investigations of the events. Oh, I'm sorry. Investigations of the allegations were highly suggestive and invited children to pretend or speculate about supposed events. Later research demonstrated that the methods of questioning used on the children were extremely suggestive, leading to false accusations. Others believed that the questioning itself may have led to false memory syndrome among the children questioned. So Michael P. Mahoney, a clinical psychologist and professor of psychiatry, reviewed videotapes of the children's interviews. I kind of have to give you a little backstory because what they're about to say is fucking insane. Okay. So this makes a little bit more sense. But this psychiatrist reviewed videotapes of the children's interviews, and Maloney testifying testifying as an expert witness on interviewing children, was highly critical of the techniques used, referring to them as improper, coercive, directive, problematic, and adult-directed in a way that forced the children to follow a rigid script. He concluded that many of the kids' statements in the interviews were generated by the examiner. Transcripts and recordings of the interviews contained far more speech from adults than children, and demonstrated that, despite the highly coercive interviewing techniques used, initially the children were resistant to interviews attempts to elicit disclosures. The recordings of the interviews were instrumental in the jury's refusal to convict by demonstrating how children could be coerced to giving vivid and dramatic testimonies without having experienced actual abuse. The techniques used were shown to be contrary to the existing guidelines in California for the investigation of cases involving children and child witnesses. So basically, they just said this went against everything in California law when it comes to questioning a child about stuff, because these detectives were trying to get basically what they were saying were they kept going to the children. Oh, can you tell us anything about this? The other kids told us yucky details about Ray. So they're kind of coercing the kids, being like, what actually happened?
Yeah. They're
Which
like
is-
they're leading them with kind of negative like wording.
Yeah, or like they're like, did Ray ever do anything to you?
Loaded
Like,
questions.
yeah, they'd be like, did Ray ever do anything to you? And be like, no. Be like, did he ever like touch you on like the shoulders? And then be like, did he ever do? And then like they would create these like grand events in their head that didn't actually happen, because kids have like very wild imaginations.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna get into what they think they saw right now, because the strange interview coercion resulted in some of the most bizarre accusations coming from the children, which overlapped with accusations that mirrored the emerging satanic ritual abuse panic that began to gain nationwide media attention in the 80s. Because like I said, in the 80s, satanic panic was going up there. It was
At
big
the
time.
peak.
Dude, we talked about that story of like those carnies that like took that guy out into the woods, like
Yeah.
put him on a door and then just like cut off his head or something. And it was all satanic. Like, what the fuck, man? So it was alleged that in addition to having been sexually abused, they saw witches fly, traveled in a hot air balloon, and were taken through underground tunnels. So one child claimed Ray Bucky cut off a rabbit's ear, and another said he was made to drink rabbit's blood. And then my favorite, another boy even claimed he saw Bucky beat a horse to death with a baseball bat.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
I mean, okay, all jokes aside, like from a realistic standpoint, I don't think that would be very easy to do. Like being realistic
I think
about it,
you're right.
I really don't think that would be very easy.
I think you're right.
Or else all those horse race managers would just be carrying out baseball bats.
I mean, we all know right now it's horse 1, Mr. Hand 0.
Yeah.
So we all know who has the baseball bat. In
Yeah,
this
the horse has the
relationship.
baseball bat for sure.
They're like, don't you mean the horse hit Ray with the baseball bat? You're like, I don't know. Okay, that wasn't my favorite, because this next one is my favorite. When shown a series of photographs by Danny Davis, the McMartin's lawyer, one child identified actor Chuck Norris as one of the abusers.
That kid would be dead then. I gotta say, I'm tired. I like the Chuck Norris thing was fun for a week. I hate the Chuck Norris jokes when they're like, oh, like I
That
don't
lasted a while.
It lasted too long. They're not funny. Stop it.
What year was that big?
Get some help. 2010, 2011.
I was gonna say like 8, honestly. High school?
Could have been.
Yeah,
I was also in college when you were in high school.
that's true. Like they go, Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth away from him.
Yeah, it's like, okay, come on.
I mean, it was fun, but it's very like cliche. You know what I mean? It's like when people start doing too much of something, like, you know, when like people start saying YOLO, like that was fucking awful.
That was never cool.
No, but like that was a phenomenon that, like, I mean, yeah, I guess like Chuck Norris jokes were cool at one point, and then they became oversaturated. But like, I remember fucking like you know, I was like, YOLO, that's kind of a cool, like, you know, you only live once, and then like it was like everywhere. It was on wristbands,
tattoos and shit.
Oh my god, it was like, damn Daniel, back at it again with the white vans. You know?
Yeah.
Name another one. There's a lot of them. Yeet was big. Oh, when people do the new ones, like ice in their veins, that's kind of dying out. When people are like sheesh, and they like point to their like their elbow pit.
Yeah, no, that one. See, that one's not so bad because it's like, it's not even like a word, you know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, we'll think of more of them, but yeah, there's a lot of them out there. So
I got, it's so random. The one that drives me insane. I'm a big sports guy. I love sports. It drives me fucking insane on like Instagram, where it's like the off season and Carmelo Anthony is like playing basketball at LA Fitness, and they're like, Carmelo Anthony's back in the lab. He's back he's working in the lab.
Carmelo Anthony goes to LA Fitness?
It's just it's
like a hype thing?
Well, no, I hate how they refer to training as being in the lab. It's like, they're not scientists, they're athletes.
Yeah, they're trying to be like, it's like a cool thing to say.
Yeah, and I just think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I hate it. Every time I see it, I just get angry. I hate it. I don't know why.
Do you hate that a pro athlete who can literally go to his private gym is just pulling up to LA Fitness, or is that kind of cool?
No, I think that's cool. What I'm saying, it has not. You're missing the point. This
has
nothing to do with LA Fitness.
No,
Stop.
I know.
Let go of LA Fitness. Let it go.
I know. Fuck you. No, I know, but I wanted to know if it was an all-encompassing thing. So it's the fan base that's like back in the lab. You don't like it's the fan base.
They're just training. They're they're getting ready for the season. You don't have to come up with some stupid slang to be like, they're in the lab.
Yeah, he's been in the lab. He's been there. He's done that. Yeah. He's leaving the lab.
Goddamn scientist.
He's got two beakers left. He's almost gone from the lab, dog. Oh man, there's a reason why he's playing against LA Fitness people. He's like, I could take these guys. These guys are easy. Yeah. Hey, the pros, I don't know. I'm scared. Is he still good?
Yeah. Honestly, he's doing right as of right now. He's doing pretty damn good.
Okay. I just assume anybody who I played as a player on my PSP is bad now, right?
Yeah. No.
Steve Nash was my dude.
He had a few seasons. I think he was. He was unofficially retired for a season.
Oh wow!
And then Portland picked him up, and then now he's with the Lakers.
Yeah, and if I know you, I assume you're bad now. Like Tracy McGrady.
Well, I mean, Tracy McGrady would still cook you any day.
God, no, dude. Dude, any 80-year-old basketball player would cook me in a second. He'd roast my ass. He'd put a hand on my forehead as I swung at him. I'd be like, come over here. Become like Joe Pesci. So should we keep going?
Yeah, keep it up. Keep going, bud. Get back in the lab.
Get back to the child abuse. Yeah, I'm back in the lab. I live here. So I live in child abuse. Ooh, you're just part of it. So, some of the abuse was allegedly to have occurred in secret tunnels beneath the schools, as we said. 50 concerned parents descended on the preschool property in 1985 with shovels and a backhoe to dig up for evidence. But what they found was the remains of a tortoise and some broken toys. And surprisingly, they felt that corroborated the claims of animal sacrifice.
Yeah, were they able to identify the cause of death on the said tortoise?
They found a shell. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Yeah.
It was probably dead years ago, and somebody was using it as an ashtray or something.
Yeah.
Horrible.
A maraca.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they've been killing a lot of abalone here. You know, did any of your grandparents have an abalone ashtray? Like an abalone shell ashtray?
One of my grandfathers probably did because he was a cigar smoker, but I don't really remember much of that.
Kind of a cool I'm tropical grandpa. Come over here, give me a Mai Tai. Come over here, give me a pineapple slice. Come over here, give me a fucking kiss on the mouth.
Oh, no, didn't have one of those grandpas.
Oh, you never tropical grandpa. Touch my coconuts. Okay, so several excavations after turned up evidence of an old building on the site and other debris from before the school was built, but no evidence of any secret chambers or tunnels were found. There were claims of, oh my God, this is great too. There were claims of orgies at car washes and airports, and of, oh my God, this is the best, and of children being flushed down toilets to secret rooms where they would be abused and then cleaned up and presented back to their parents. Can you? That's the thing that drove me into the story. Or a small child.
That's true. This actually is relevant. I was at the hardware store this last weekend, 2 weekends ago. They sell a toilet that is advertised on the box saying that it can flush an entire basket of golf balls.
What?
Yeah.
That's not real.
It's on the box.
Why is a toilet in a box? I only see them on display. I've never seen the boxes of toilets.
Yeah.
So they keep those in the back.
You got to go to Jerry's. And you know what? I damn near almost bought it.
It could flush a bucket of golf balls?
Yeah.
How big are you guys shitting up in there in Oregon?
No, that's not what that's not my concern. The guest room bathroom just needs a new toilet.
It's also funny that like they assume like the toilet is the issue in the flushing when like the piping, like the pipes are the issue.
Oh, not always.
I feel like a lot of stuff can fit down a toilet, but the pipes are just going to fucking explode or like get jammed up, right?
See, my guest room is a double flusher. The guest bathroom's a double flush. That means you're never going to get the job done with one flush.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
have fixed a lot of toilets in my lifetime.
What?
And yeah.
What, you jiggle the thing in the back to make the water in the tank fill back up?
No, like I open those bitches up. I can fix most of them. This one is I've never seen it before, but so typical toilets, they have the plunger thing, the little floaty guy.
Yeah, that sometimes gets stuck up.
This thing has a separate bucket inside of it that fills up with water, and then when you flush, it dumps the bucket.
What? Never
seen it before.
Did they fucking unload Did they sell you that house because they knew they had a shit toilet in there?
Yeah, that's why they need to get out of that place. This toilet's driving me nuts. I got to sell this place.
You get the inspector. He's like, no termite damage. The support's good. The foundation isn't slipping at all. Honestly, I think this is a pretty good house. But that fucking toilet, that haunted ass toilet over there, he's got a bucket inside of a bucket. Like what?
Yeah,
that's
weird.
Great. Is it old or is it new?
It's got to be old. House was built in '76. I don't know.
But I mean, does it look old? What color is it? Yellow?
Toilet's a toilet. My last toilet though was pink.
Heck. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Is it fucking straight from the '70s or is it like '90s toilet?
Nah, it's white. It's a white toilet.
Oh, okay, that's the first good sign. If you got a white toilet, you're in the right ballpark at least. There's minor fixes from there. You don't have to jump from a yellow or a pink toilet to anything.
Yeah.
But I've had the pink toilet. I've had the pink toilet too. Yeah. So baby blue's a good one too.
Yeah.
So like I said, these kids are being flushed down the toilet to an abuse room. Maybe that's what your toilet is. Check underneath your house. So some child interviewees talked of this is kind of weird. Some child interviewees talked of a game called Naked Movie Star and suggested that they were forcibly photographed nude. During trial testimonies, some children stated that the Naked Movie Star game was actually a rhyming taunt used to tease other children. they would say, "What you say is what you are. You're a naked movie star." And it had nothing to do with having naked pictures taken of them. Like, that was like a thing, which is kind of weird. But, like, I would love to know if anybody else has ever heard that, like, rhyming scheme.
Yeah, that's a new one to me.
Did you have any of those? I just knew, like, Batman. Like, Batman, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. But we didn't have any of, like, the... But that might be, like, more of an 80s thing. That might be more of a satanic panic thing, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't. I can't think of anything that would fall under that category.
I wish I was a naked movie star. I'd be making a lot more money right now.
Be
right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Can you get a bump if you're naked on camera?
Yeah.
Not like
you better.
Bump sounds weird. You get a pay increase.
Yes.
My lawyer tells me I have to say, I can't say bump.
No film lingo.
No. So, 7 employees of the McMartin Preschool were indicted in March of 1984 on 321 charges.
Shit. That must have taken so long for them to read that shit out in court.
Dude, I know. But here's the thing. Most were dropped, and eventually only Ray Bucky and Peggy McMartin Bucky, so Ray and his mom, proceeded to trial, which began in 1987. So Peggy and Ray's long trial began in spring of 1987, where they together faced 99 charges of molestation and 1 of conspiracy.
Okay.
I got 99 problems and one of them's conspiracy. No, and the 100th is conspiracy. Yeah, that's it. So the defense focused on the fact that the questioning of the children, like I said, was leading in nature and unethical, which left a large amount of doubt surrounding the investigation. They also focused on the initial accusation made by Judy Johnson, which were possibly revenge motivated, because he was an estranged husband, and followed by bizarre statements claiming that Ray was able to fly. You know, like that's a red flag too. So this is also very interesting and super fucking unethical. But though the prosecution asserted Johnson's mental illness was caused by the events of the trial, they said that she was kooky because of the trial that made her stressed out. Johnson actually had admitted to the court that she was mentally ill beforehand. So that backfired on him.
Yeah.
And evidence of Johnson's mental illness was withheld from the defense for 3 years, and when provided was in the form of a sanitized report that excluded Johnson's statements at the order of the prosecution. So they gave her like a document of like her medical or like mental state, and they basically got rid of all of like the acute paranoid schizophrenia and all this like mental illness, because they knew that if they did put that on there, that it would discredit her as the first accuser of this. So they're like, no, don't put that on there. Yeah. So one of the original prosecutors, this is a prosecutor, the person that's trying to convict these people of molestation, Glenn Stevens, left the case in protest and stated that other prosecutors had withheld evidence from the defense, including the information that Johnson's son did not actually identify Ray Bucky in a series of photographs. Stevens also accused Robert Philibosian, the deputy district attorney on the case, of lying and withholding evidence from the court and defense lawyers in order to keep the Buckys in jail and prevent access to exonerating evidence. So basically, the prosecuting lawyer, the guy who's trying to get these people in prison, said, I'm fucking leaving because other prosecutors that I'm working with are withholding evidence. The district attorney is lying and withholding evidence, and everybody is like, they basically, I don't mean to say like they are lying or they're not lying, but basically he's saying like, I have proof that they're not giving you all the evidence. They're not giving the defense all the evidence to like defend themselves, which is super unethical and super illegal. And he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. So like I said, the Buckys were in jail this whole time. because Peggy McMartin Bucky spent 2 years in jail before being released on a nearly $300,000 bail, while Ray spent 5 years in jail before being released on $1.5 million bail in 1989, as he and his mother were nearly 2 years into their trial. This meant that his mom spent 2 years in jail, and Ray spent a whopping 5 years in jail, all the while for the trial to come to a conclusion. So they were not accused, they were not guilty of anything yet, but they could not get the bail to get out of jail, so they were stuck in jail for 5 and 2 years.
So insane.
I know, super fucked up and unethical. Judy Johnson, on the other hand, the lady who accused Ray of the molestation and the flying, died in 1986, a year before the trial even started, of fatty metamorphosis of the liver due to alcoholism. Jeez. So she couldn't even they couldn't even put her on the stand to be like, what did you mean by that, to show that she was super not sane of mind. So also, just to show how corrupt the trial was, in October of 1987, jailhouse informant George Friedman was called as a witness and testified that Ray Bucky had confessed to him while sharing a cell. He did the old, "Oh, I'm a prisoner too. We share a cell. What'd you do?" And he said that Ray Bucky confessed. But Friedman later attempted to flee the country, and confessed to perjury in a series of other criminal cases in which he manufactured testimony in exchange for favorable treatment by the prosecution. So the prosecution went to him and said, if you go and tell them that you got a confession out of Ray, we'll help you out. Yeah. We'll give you money. We'll do this. And in several instances, fabricating jailhouse confessions of other inmates. So he did this for other inmates. He would go in, pretend like they said something, go to court, testify that they said that they killed somebody or molested somebody, and he lied about it. He was committing perjury as a career. Yeah. Which is the most insane. Fucked up. I don't know how these people aren't in federal prison for life. And in order to guarantee his testimony during the McManus case, so the defense was we want you to, say that you lied. Freeman was given immunity to previous charges of perjury. So he basically got out of all of his charges because he was no, I'll say that I lied and you guys have to protect me, which is, again, crazy. Coming up to the end here, as a number of charges were slowly reduced from 300 down to 64 to 13, and after 3 years of testimony and 9 weeks of deliberation, Peggy was acquitted of all charges. So the mom acquitted of all charges, but Ray still faced a couple of charges as the jury deliberated his final charges. See, 11 out of the 13 jurors found Ray not guilty, but 2 of them voted guilty, which resulted in a deadlock or hung jury, which resulted in a trial once again. So they have to do another trial. But this one was just on 6 of the charges this time, which again resulted in a hung jury. And this is when the prosecution finally dismissed the case, giving up on trying to convict Ray Bucky. The real sad part of this, and this is where it's not funny at all. The sad part of the story is that, and also a little disturbing, that most of the jurors did believe that the few cases that made it to the end, the few children that made it to the end of the trial, were of kids that were molested, but they were not sure of who did it because there wasn't strong enough evidence to prove anything. And I don't want to get in too much detail, but there were, I guess they did do photographic evidence on certain parts of the body that maybe showed scarring or certain things that only happen when children are molested. And they said that there were some of those cases in those children, which means that I don't know if Ray Bucky actually did this. It doesn't seem very likely, but that these kids were most likely actually, sexually assaulted by possibly other people in their life or somebody at the school. I don't really know what was happening. Yeah. Which is super fucking disturbing and sad and, not funny at all. So just to make this clear, Ray had been jailed for 5 years without ever being convicted of committing any crime, which is, again, very disturbing to think that that could happen to anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you're not guilty.
Watch him finally. The judge is like, we find him on all counts innocent. And, you know, everybody celebrates. He's walking out. They get outside the courthouse. Everybody's trying to get interviews. And they're like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, I'm going to Tahiti. And then he flies away.
And then the judge goes, "Oh fuck!" He throws the gavel at him and tries to knock him in the knee or something. Oh my god! Wouldn't that be the icing on the cake? Yeah. But here's my last little paragraph. The case ended up costing $15 million and lasted 7 years, becoming the longest and most expensive criminal case in the history of the United States legal system, and ultimately resulted in no convictions. The McMartin Preschool was closed and the building was dismantled. Roy, in the end, changed his last name and moved halfway across the U.S. to try to start his life over again. I know it's kind of crazy, but from what I saw, they have numerous documentaries. I forget what the documentary is called, like Outcry, I believe. But this guy, Ray, was like in his mid-20s, and the lawyer was like, I talked to him, and like he was like so confused by this, and like he just seemed like, and it's also hard to tell because people will lie and they'll be good liars and compulsive liars. I don't know if this guy did this or not. It didn't seem like he did, but just the whole case that he got pulled into this thing based off of allegations from somebody who may or may not have been mentally ill, and it was completely it was not disclosed to anybody at the court, is just like a really fucked up situation that I think that numerous people have to take into account if you're going to maybe sentence a life to prison.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Little rough, but it's just such an interesting story. And, you know, sometimes you flush a kid down the toilet. Sometimes Chuck is down there. And it's not good. It's not good.
All right. I'll start mine here.
You're like, all right, that's enough of that.
That's enough of that. Now, Tobin, I've got a story tonight that is similar to one of the stories you have once told. This man.
Hot Dog Sanchez?
This man.
Oh, this man.
This man.
Do you?
Now,
are you gonna explain who this man is, or do I?
Well, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you want to give a brief description of this man?
Oh, this man. I know this man very well. This man is a picture of this man who is a round-headed man. He's got he's kind of got like a widow's peak thing going. He's got a unibrow, big eyes, a big toothless smile, I believe. And he's supposed to be, I forget his lore completely, but he's supposed to haunt your dreams from what I remember. He penetrates your dreams.
Yeah.
And you see him, and you see him everywhere.
It was a thing where, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a thing that many people have seen this man, and they're people that are completely unconnected to each other. So there's like no reason for everybody to be like, yeah, I've seen that guy too.
That's right. He pops up in people's dreams, and he's kind of like disturbing. And people started hanging flyers and said, "Have you seen this man?" And people were like, "Oh my God, I've seen him in my dreams before." So they think he's like a kind of a traveling dream demon nomad of some sort.
Yeah. So we lost connection there for a second.
Did we?
Yeah, let me.
This man is trying to break us up.
I'm gonna turn the Wi-Fi off my phone.
Me too. I'll do it.
Maybe that will help.
This man don't like this man here. He
doesn't.
played two. He played knick-knack on his shoe.
He don't want him. He don't want him to tell him.
Just go to sleep. Let me play with you in the dreams. What you gonna dream? Hey, David, what you gonna dream about tonight?
So hopefully not
Applebee's?
this fucking story. Not gonna. This was a story that I was writing this after I got home from work today, and I was home alone, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little creeped out. Are you there?
Yeah. You didn't hear that fucking car drive by?
No, your picture was frozen for a second. I just wanted to make sure for editing purposes that we weren't all thrown off, and I had to sit here for 3 hours doing that. So the similarities between my story and this man is the strange phenomenon of many people having the same experience, seeing the same thing, even though these people are completely unconnected and have never met, and, well, they're all over the world. This is the Hat Man.
Dude, I just sent you something about that.
Yeah.
Wait, is that where you got the idea from? I don't know about
Yeah.
the Hat Man. I just thought it was a joke. Somebody said I took 20 Benadryl and I saw the Hat Man in my corner, and someone said, "Who's the Hat Man?" And he's like, "I've said too much" or something like that.
No, he said this suddenly became not a safe place.
I thought the Hat Man was like one of those things where you just kind of make a joke, but everybody kind of knows that like that's some kind of sleep paralysis demon of some sort.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's a real figure. Like,
It's a real fucking deal.
okay.
And I actually knew of the Hat Man previously. So
Why?
I've
You saw the Hat Man?
I've just heard of it. I might have been in the same room as the Hat Man.
Oh, did you know when he stood in the corner and he looked over at you and he went, "M'lady"?
I will share my not really connected, slightly connected, but not really connected story.
Okay.
So the Hat Man is far from a new monster. And I read in one source saying his legend stretches back to the earliest writings of mankind, but I can't find anything else about that. So we're just going to go with that that's true.
They didn't have hats back then, those fucking idiots. They're like, the Hat Man was around in cavemen. Like, well, deer skin on his head.
I think it was more like things that you could interpret, but
The Greeks are like, "Oh, Hat Man."
they have
That's
hats in Greece.
They didn't have C's in Gree.
So before we talk too much, let's talk about who or what the Hat Man is. And that's a difficult task in itself. But the physical description of the Hat Man is that he appears to have a male physique, but no real definition. And
Pussy? I'm joking.
What?
I said pussy. No definition? Dude, come on. Fucking squat. Squat some.
Okay, now
I'm sorry.
I got confused. But yeah, so no one can really like define any of his actual features, or at least any living person can who has seen him. No face or defining features are provided. He is a completely dark entity. He gains his name from his notable feature, his hat, which is a large brimmed hat like Pharrell's weird Smokey the Bear phase.
Oh, yeah, that was a good phase.
Yeah. But yeah, he's just like a huge brim hat. The Hat Man is also believed to be dressed in a type of trench coat or duster.
Okay.
But
Call
Kim. But again, he's just a big old bit of darkness, so it's kind of hard to know, but it kind of, it's like an outline of a person. Some accounts say he has a bright red glowing eyes, but in other accounts they say much like the rest of his body, the eyes are unseen. It is also estimated that the Hat Man is about 6 feet tall, which means I can still dunk on his ass, but
yeah. Yo, he's at LA Fitness getting fucked up by Carmelo.
just getting his little shadow ankles broke.
Carmelo bounces the ball off the heezy and knocks his fucking hat off, and he's like, "You're just man now," and not much of one. And then he fucking he dunks and he does the thing where like his crotch goes in his face.
Posterizes him. So yeah, big dark creature with human-like body, big old brim hat, trench coat, possible red glowing eyes, but no real definition. Just like a general outline of his body. Like you can't
Okay.
really see, like you can't see anything. He's
Yeah.
always facing people, so like you can't even like see like a side silhouette.
He's like Mr. Game and Watch.
Exactly. If he was looking at you, he's got the hammer.
Throws little hammers at you. Exactly. Yeah, you get it. He's a judge.
But so then the question is, what could the Hat Man be? A number of beliefs and religions all have things known as shades, which are shadowy spiritual beings or something supernatural.
I've
So
heard
there's
of
a
a shade,
possibility.
I feel like I've heard of shades. I don't really know what they are. Are they just like the kind of
changes.
general term for like a ghost or something?
Yeah, like something that's undefinable.
Yeah, I feel like in Egyptian movies, it's like ghosts are like different in the modern world where like they're like white sheets, but I feel like they used to just be like dark shadows, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The whole idea of a ghost has really changed.
Yeah, it's still spooky though. I wonder if any of those fuckers just come out of the wall. So there's no common belief that these things are either good or bad, but for the most part, I feel like when you're talking about them, they're a bad daddy. You don't really, the good ones don't really get talked about because they're just like, oh, that guy filled my water up. That's cool. And you go back to bed.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I met the guy from the original Hills Have Eyes movie,
Yeah.
and he's, how do I put this nicely? He's not he doesn't look like everyone else, and
homely.
he was cast in a movie about inbred people that live in the hills and eat people. So like,
Yeah.
and there was no prosthetics. But like he was a very nice guy, like a very nice guy. But your first instinct is you're scaring me, and you're probably a bad guy. So like if the good Hat Men aren't talking, or the good shades aren't talking, you're immediately looking at their appearance and going, you're probably not a great guy, right?
Yeah.
So they need a little personality.
A little pizzazz. A little
Yeah,
color.
Exactly.
Like a red necklace.
Oh.
Some
I
red
talked to-
dancing shoes.
I'd talk to him. Get him some pearls.
Oh, he was delightful.
He came up to me, and guess what he had in his hand? 2 mint juleps. And I was like, oh, Hat Man, what? How dare you come with a mint julep for me?
He came into my room with my leaf blower. And then I realized he was looking for the spare battery because he was getting all them leaves out of my gutters.
What a nice gentleman. I tell you, that Hat Man, he knows respect. He good at chores. I'm a Southern woman.
I wish you were. So
He must be from Georgia.
what could he be? Could he be an ultra strong shadow person? A
No definition.
interdimensional being? Or maybe a form of sleep paralysis?
I love the idea that other dimensions have hats as well.
I mean, there's suns all over the place.
Johnny Depp's like, I have to go to the other dimensions. I need a bigger hat.
This dimension doesn't carry my hat.
It only has 3 feathers. I
And
need
no
more.
bird skulls.
No, I know. That's the horrible thing about it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
The other dimensions, though.
I feel like we've talked about before on this podcast before about your sleep problems, which I believe have subsided.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you said that, because Katie and I have been in a little bit of a conversation lately about of me showing some interest in going to a gun range. And I was like, I've never shot a gun before. I was like, that would be maybe fun to shoot a gun. And you know what? Everyone else, they got guns. I was like, maybe down the road, I would get a gun to have in my house just in case. I'm not really a gun guy. Like I said, I've never shot a gun. But the idea to have something would be somewhat nice. And Katie said, you sleepwalk, you would shoot me. And I said, that is not true at all. Okay, now you're not on my side anymore. I saw the way your head moved. You're not on my side anymore.
I'm not on your side.
Fine, I guess I'm not getting a gun. But I have 2 knives in my nightstand, and I've never stabbed anybody. So all I'm saying is that I'm a pretty nice Hat Man when it comes to me standing in the corner of your room having a sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
So-
Well, you could always You could always get a gun, but then lock up the actual ammunition. So then you'd have to be awake to load it.
That's true. And I told Katie we could do one of those ones where, the briefcases that have 3 numbers on one side and 3 numbers on the other. I was like, what if you know 3 numbers and I know 3 numbers? And she's like, what if there's a burglar in the house and I'm not here? I go, exactly. Give me all the numbers. I want the gun.
Give me the numbers.
Let me shoot it. Come on, baby.
Well, based on one of my good friends sent me a text the other day because he thought it was rather amusing, that apparently he found an article that was the best weapon for home defense is a hammer.
Ooh. Oh, really?
And in the article,
Judge.
he didn't send me the link. He just said what it said, but he said that it said a hammer is good because it's easy to beat a person to death in a hallway.
Was that Colby?
No.
Oh my God. It's so true.
No,
it really is.
Yeah, no.
What side of the hammer are you using? You taking the nails out of the man?
Oh, it counts how angry I am. Which one he deserves.
I'll go straight
Or
for
woman. I'm not gonna say it's only men breaking in.
I'm a feminist. I beat women to death with a hammer too. Equal rights, people.
Yeah. So firsthand accounts of the Hat Man have always been describing the Thing as observing people, watching them from places like a doorway, a closet, a corner of the room, or at the foot of a bed.
We got a little voyeur on our hands, huh?
Yeah. But there have been reports of him hovering over people while they're laying in bed, either waking up or going to sleep, that he's like hovering face to face with you.
Oh, he's parallel with you.
Yes. Which would highly
that's
support
just
the
Ray.
claims. What?
That's Ray.
It's Ray from your
The guy-
story?
Yeah, he floats.
Oh,
He
that's
flo-
right. He does. Well, there's a difference between floating and flying. Let's
You're
get that
right,
straight.
actually. You're right, 100%.
But so that would support the claims that he's just a mind trick in an episode of sleep paralysis. I feel like.
Why?
If you're like asleep and you like wake up and he's like right there.
But if he's interdimensional, we don't even know what he can
That's
do.
true. That's true. I'm just saying it helps support it. But much to my surprise, which I didn't know previously until researching it, because I've heard of it. I've heard of the Hat Man. But there have actually been reports of events from people seeing him in the daytime while they are out and about walking around, like not asleep.
Oh, that's kind of like you watched that show, The Haunted of Hill House?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's a pretty good one, but there's a Hat Man in there. I think his name's the Hat Man. You should check it out. But there's a
Oh, you know what? I think when I was researching it, said that there was a character in that show that's loosely based off of him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that totally makes sense because he's rocking like a little bowler hat, but like still they got it. He's creepy.
Well, that apparently technically that I think the hat does vary.
change.
Yeah, he's got some different styles.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Do you wear the same hat every single day? No, you switch it up a little bit.
Oh God, my wife is always mad at me for I come home from work every day with a new hat.
Oh, I
We
can't
don't have
wear
room
the one
for
that
these hats.
can't wear the one that holds the 2 beers. Can't wear the fucking hat that has the tubes in it.
So other accounts say that they experienced seeing the Hat Man during, after, or before traumatic events.
Oh, he's like Mothman a little bit.
Well, so it could suggest that the Hat Man is a spiritual or emotional driven like entity. Like he could he could either be bringing bad things or is awoken by bad things.
Yeah, like maybe the negative energy draws him to the place. But like that's also the question of like they say about Mothman is like, is he trying to prevent it? I mean, maybe he's just bad at preventing bad things.
Yeah, maybe he's just clumsy and he's trying to help and he just fucks it up worse.
Yeah, maybe it's like That's So Raven where like she like tries to stop the thing from happening, but she's the thing that caused it.
Exactly.
You know?
Get
You think
some of that
Raven Simone's the Hat Man?
She could be. Haven't seen her in a few years. Have you?
Only in a hat.
Only in a hat.
Put a hat on it.
There are believers that Hat Man emits a very powerful negative energy and feeds off of fear that he creates as fuel to keep on spooking people.
Ooh, I hate those fear ones, like Freddy Krueger. He's kind of the same.
Yeah, they feed off of that shit.
Yeah, I gotta be brave. I gotta be brave for me and Hat Man.
So, you ready? Because I think it's time we get our timbers shivered and read some firsthand accounts.
Of course.
All right. So these are copy and pastes from people that have experienced this. Obviously, I'm not going to alter. There's some. This is so copied and paste from a website that
That David hasn't even read it yet.
No, I did skim them, but I did have to fix some typos. Like that's how raw this is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're scared.
Yeah.
They're probably chitter chattering all over the keyboard.
Oh yeah. All right. I must have been 6 or 7 years old when it started. It was the early 1980s. I lived in San Diego, California at the time.
Whoa.
We lived in an average house in an average neighborhood. I was an imaginative kid, and I always enjoyed the make-believe. It is no wonder that my family did not believe me when I began to tell them that there was a man who stood in my doorway at night. I remember waking up night after night, terrified as I saw him. Then it says in parentheses, just writing this makes me sick to my stomach. He was dressed in a hat and a long coat. I never saw his face or even the color of his clothing. I could see his shape from my nightlight in the darkness. He never passed the threshold of my bedroom door, but he stood there for what felt like forever.
I have to say real quick, sometimes a little light is worse than no light at all.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Did I tell you about the cat in my backyard?
No.
I woke up at like 2 a.m. the other day, and I felt like something was watching me. In my bedroom, I've got a door that goes to my backyard.
Mm-hmm. Sliding glass.
Yeah. Look over, and there's just a giant cat just staring at me.
Whoa, a giant cat?
It's a big fucking cat just staring at me.
Okay.
And I like looked at it. I kind of like pretend like I was throwing shit at it. It didn't flinch. So I like got up and walked over.
You pretended to throw shit at it?
Yeah, I was half asleep.
That's
and
so funny.
It wouldn't budge. So then I got up and I walked over, and then it still didn't move until I tried to open the door, and then it bolted. Little bastard. It keeps coming to my backyard. Big old
David,
orange cat.
I have to tell you, from somebody who has cats, when they start scratching on the couch, I swear to God, I will scream at the top of my lungs like, "Hey, hey!" Like clap, stomp my feet. Nothing stops them from scratching on that couch. But if you fucking like step on a piece of plastic in the other room, they will act like there's a fucking speeding car coming at them. They will run so fast. Yeah, it's all like, I don't get them. They don't care. They don't care when you want them to care.
Yeah. I mean, I would sick my dog on it, but I think the cat would kick my dog's ass. That's how big this dog is.
Cats are I saw a cat literally swipe at a tiger the other day. It was on a video. It wasn't at the zoo or anything.
I saw a small cat like scare off a fucking alligator.
Exactly. I've seen a cat fight a bear, dude. It's like
they want to die.
They have no self-preservation.
No.
They're out to get it. From me or any bear or lion out there.
Back to the story. We broke all of the dramatic part.
Sorry.
But no, that's my fault. I went on about the cat. I would just sit in my bed and stare at him, my body racked with fear, so scared I could not scream or cry, terrified that if I moved or turned my eyes away, he would come get me. Once he left, I would run to my sister's room and crawl in her bed. This became a nightly occurrence and went on for years. Oh. So every night for years, he would stand in the threshold of her door. Once he, what?
You think if they slept in a different place, they would like maybe not be there?
I don't know.
Years?
Yeah.
After the third night, I'd be like, sorry, I'm just saying, after the third night, I'd be like, dude, I gotta change. I gotta move my bed or something. You know, like I need to like switch up my location.
Second night would be I would have a flashlight and blast his ass and then suck him up with a vacuum because I'm Luigi.
Ooh.
This is my mansion.
Get in my rigatoni vacuum. I've never played that game, but it looks fun.
All the Luigi's Mansion games, those are great.
Yeah,
that's some top tier gaming right there. 38 years later, I happened to be watching a documentary about nightmares, and I saw that other people had seen the same man. I could not believe it. I still can't. Why? Why me and no one else in my home? I still shudder when I think of this. For all the others who shared in this horror, you are not alone.
Jesus, I don't know how you like. I just get like a night mask or something. You got to switch it up. You got to do something different, right? Years. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible existence. Yeah. I hate that.
I mean, it also doesn't help that she was 6 or 7. So like.
Oh yeah, you don't really know. Like you don't want to tell anybody. You just kind of like nothing's happening. You don't. That's the one thing I kind of did notice too. When like something traumatic happens, like if you address it, it becomes real.
Yeah.
So, like, you just don't bring it up. You don't think about it. You don't tell anybody. You just try to hope it goes away, and then it doesn't or something. You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Scary.
So here's the second story. It was a regular night. I had woken up to go to the bathroom and get some water. My bedroom is upstairs, and the bathroom is downstairs. So it does take a couple minutes to get water and such. Anyway, on my way back upstairs, I went into my room, and behind the door, there he was. He was so tall and had a hat on and a coat. He literally loomed over me. I felt breathless, but my instincts kicked in, and I tried to square up with him. Then I ran to my bed.
Did they is that Chuck Norris? They flush him down the toilet?
Yeah, he needs to get back in the lab.
Wait, this person's awake. This person's walking, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
So he or she it doesn't really say, but they tried to defend themselves and kind of like maybe they threw a punch and it went through them, so they ran.
I love the fact that, like, I would love the inner monologue of Hatman being like, oh, fuck, I didn't hit the sleep paralysis button.
Oh, shit, they're awake.
They're swinging.
So, yeah, tried to square up with him. Then I ran to my bed to hide behind my dog. You need some invisible dogs for this one. But he was gone.
You need a lot of visible dogs.
But he was gone by the time I looked back. So terrifying. I don't know if I went through anything traumatic before or since then, and I haven't seen him since. But he was scary. Another night, before I told my friends what had happened, my friends were over, and we were having a little fire in my backyard. We all decided to change into sweatpants except for my one friend who was already wearing them.
What?
We left... What?
This sounds like it's going to go in a different direction soon.
We left her for 5 minutes, and then she came inside saying how she was laying down by the fire, and suddenly he was looming over her, a big shadow. She said nope and went inside. She was so scared. A couple nights ago, she dreamt of being trapped in her house, and he was there. She doesn't want to talk much about it. I've read how many people have seen him during sleep paralysis and in nightmares, but I've only seen him when I was awake at 3 a.m.
Why? Oh, did they bring up the sweatpants thing to show that, like, she was out there by herself when she experienced him?
Yeah, they're saying that the group of people went in to change into something warmer.
Oh.
But one person was already in warm clothes, so they didn't go inside.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's going to go on with the sweatpants? I'm like, is he going to be
sweatpants?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I looked down. Hat man was on me legs. There was a hat on each foot. I didn't know what was happening. I was so tall.
Number 3. One day, my friend and I were sitting at the dining room table talking when I suddenly felt a lightning bolt flash through my head that doubled me over in my chair momentarily. As I slowly sat back up, I looked to my right and saw the ghostly figure of a man approximately 6 feet tall, clad in a long frock coat.
Frock?
I guess that's like a trench coat, I don't know.
Oh, this person's into fashion.
With his hands in his pockets, and he was wearing a broad-brimmed hat. He had entered the outside living room wall and swiftly walked straight across the living room into my friend's sister's bedroom, where she happened to be at the time. She was reading a magazine on her bed, as I recall. Once he was out of sight, I looked at my friend and noticed that he was looking at me with wide eyes and his mouth wide open. I asked, "Did you see that too?" He shook his head, saying, "Yes, I did." We quietly walked into his sister's bedroom to see if she had noticed anything strange, and she had been quite unaffected by a mysterious being. Apparently, the flash effect I felt must have been something to do with the energy of the being, and he used it to penetrate the living room wall. My friend's sister's boyfriend had died in a car accident some 8 months earlier, and at that time, I thought that the specter might have been his ghost coming to say goodbye to his girlfriend. Flash forward about 30 years, and I began reading stories online about how shadow people and the Hat Man have been seen. Now I believe the two incidents may have been unrelated, but I still have questions regarding these strange beings. So I'm not sure. Maybe this person submitted 2 stories because they said that the 2 incidents.
Yeah.
Or no, I think she's referring to the boyfriend dying and the Shadow Man, saying that they were 2 different things.
Oh man.
Or not Shadow Man, but the Hat Man.
It's the worst feeling when you go. I mean, it's the best feeling and the worst feeling when someone validates a horrible thing that like you don't want them to. You're like, hey, did you see that thing? And someone goes, no, and you go, okay, good. But if but you also kind of want them to be like, yeah, you're not crazy. But if they go, yeah, you're not crazy, I saw that too. You're like, fuck, this sucks now. Like we both saw that shit. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
So there are pages on pages of these users submitted stories with their experiences with Hatman, and I found them on the hatmanproject.com if you are interested in reading more. I was reading through a lot of these, and it was I didn't enjoy it by myself at home, especially because I heard a weird noise and the dog was with me and he heard it too, and like he was looking out the door being like, what the fuck was that, kind of thing. Yeah,
The Hat Man caught that energy.
I'm just curious if I'm gonna see him tonight. I just might.
You do know that I have seen like a man standing, like there's one very prominent story that happened when I was in high school, and my mom ran into my room and I was screaming.
Yeah.
And I remember
As
I was
usual.
screaming. I usually, like, sometimes I scream and I don't remember it. Sometimes I scream and I do remember it. This time I do remember it. I was like really scared, and I was looking in my closet, and at the time my closet didn't have doors on it, so you could see all like the stuff on the hangers like in my closet. My mom walked in. She said, "Why are you screaming?" And I said, "Oh." And I looked over, and it was still dark. Like she didn't turn on the light yet. And I said, "There's someone in my closet." And she said, "What are you talking about?" "No, there isn't." She turned on the light, and I walked over and I moved the clothes apart, and there was nobody there. And I did one of those things where I like sat on the bed and I like put my hand on my forehead, like, and I went, "Oh." And I felt like a crazy person because like I saw somebody there. Like it was like as clear as day. I saw somebody standing there, like not like the details, like you said, it was an outline of a person. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like that is, and I still get that every once in a while, but now I don't see people. I see like animals. I'll see like a cat. I'll be like, the cat's right there. And Katie will be like, no, there's no cat there. They're both right here. And I'll be like, no fucking way. And I'll be awake and I'll see them. I'll see them like moving. And I'll like turn on the flash on my phone or like the light, flashlight.
Yeah.
No one's there. No cat's there. And I was like, it was so vivid. So that's what like I kind of understand like this whole, I don't know if those are cats from another dimension. They gotta have cats. They got hats.
Yeah, it's true. If you got hats, you got cats.
That Dr. Seuss knew.
Put it on a shirt.
If they got hats, they got cats.
So my story of my connection to Hat Man.
Oh, you have one too?
That's why. Remember, I said at the beginning. I said I have a story where I was there, but not really there.
Oh, I thought you were just just referring to the creepiness that you got when you were writing the story. I didn't know you actually had one. Okay.
So my mother told me that when she was pregnant with me, she would have vivid dreams of a man in a hat trying to steal me from out of her.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What?
She said she would have them all the time, and they were like horrific nightmares or like sleep
paralysis.
Sleep
psoriasis.
Hey, sensitive.
I'm Daddy Cream.
Sensitive over here.
Daddy Cream.
Needs his cream. But yeah, no, she said that there was a hat man that would always try to like steal me from her womb.
Your mom did tell me that. Your mom said that he would stand at the corner of the bed and he goes, "He's rotten.
He belongs to me in the shadow realm.
He stinks. He's rotten. Putrid." Your mom told me about that.
Yeah. So now
Mildew sponge.
So now my question is, have any of our listeners come in contact with the Hat Man?
Ooh.
If so, please contact us. I would love to hear about it, and we would love to include that in an episode.
Do you think that he comes at different people at different ages and he's gone after that? Like he came for you when you were a fetus. You got the easy Hat Man experience.
Yeah.
While like me, I was in like high school when I got him for like a month or two. Like, do you think he gives like a crack at everybody, and they're just at like a certain age in their life, like different ages, and he shows up for a second and then disappears?
So like I said, I read through a lot of the stories where there were some really good ones, but they were just like really long, and I was just like, I can't fit that in here. Mm-hmm. But I saw a couple where it was like he's visited me in 3 different decades of my life.
Oh.
But I will say also a lot of these stories, like a strange amount of them, say that they first saw him when they were like around 7. Like a weird amount of them started off was like when I was 7, when I was about 7, when I was around 7. Like
I was expecting more around like puberty, but like 7. Yeah. Okay. Is 7 like, I mean, they say it's a lucky number, right?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if it's like correlated to anything.
I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, very strange. I mean, I wonder if I saw anything when I was 7, because I've had it for so fucking long. Like I've had weird incidents in my life. Like they kind of blend together at this point. Like they become like so not important or memorable anymore because they happen so like through my life they did. I've gotten a little bit better at it, meditation, just trying to like relax and read before bed, stuff like that helps you calm you down a little bit. But an active mind, I'm not saying that it's an active mind or it's a being from another dimension, but maybe beings are attracted to an active mind or something, who knows? We don't.
When I was really young, like my childhood home, I had 2 windows that faced out from my bedroom where if I was sleeping, if I sat up, they'd face the 2 windows. And the 2 windows went out to, we had a large deck that wrapped around the house. I would always freak out that someone was watching me from the windows. But in my memory, it was always a werewolf. So that was probably just
Oh, that's only
little
fucking
kid shit.
horrible. That's only the worst fucking thing.
Yeah, so I don't ever remember being Hat Man. I remember it being werewolves
I'd rather see a serial killer
than a werewolf.
out. And yeah. Werewolves are like... I feel like
yeah,
I
but
get
what if he turned me into a werewolf? That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, but like that's the thing. You never see a werewolf turn like many people into a werewolf without like completely fucking maiming them first. Like vampire,
Yeah.
they go like bite to the neck and it's kind of like sexy and you're like, ow. And werewolf, I feel like every time I've seen somebody like
You
get
rip
the
your
werewolf
guts out.
yeah, they always have like a giant gash and they're like bleeding out and dying.
Yeah, they're trying to dig to China through you.
They're hungry. They want that good jerky down deep in your cage.
The deep jerky, the deep cage jerky.
I want that soft shit in the cage. Come on, give me that. Let me in the cage.
The cage has been cooking it. Give it to me.
Oh man, yeah. If you guys got any hat stories, if you guys got any hat stories, send them in. Or Hat Man stories, send them over to Campstrange podcast at gmail.com. And we will gladly read them on air. We got to know a little bit more about the Hat Man or your guys' weird sleep paralysis demons, because we all got them, just in different.
I mean, in my mind, too, it's like everybody's got a phone these days, and every phone has a recording device. If you guys got a story, I'd be more than happy to take a recording and put it into the episode.
Ooh, that would be fun.
So you can tell it yourself.
Yeah, if you don't want to type it out, you just want to talk it out, do it. Yeah. And anonymous or name, whatever works for you guys, just send it on in. Campstrangepodcast at gmail.com. I guess we should wrap this up by just saying also the other things that are going on in terms of rate, review, and subscribe if you can. And also share it with your friends as well. We always appreciate it. We always appreciate the kind words you guys send us, whether it be DMs, emails, hate messages, dead cats in our mailbox with a hate message on it. Anything is fine. But if you guys want to get any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram. And we have pictures on there that David definitely did post today. And
I think I'm just gonna take it over for now on.
Don't say that. Don't. I'll help. Maybe that will free me up to post more funny, wacky stuff every once in a while. I'll just
There you go.
post a picture of my bare ass on there and be like, "Is this wacky? You guys scared yet?"
The first comment, it's not wacky, but it needs to get waxy.
Okay, that's fucking it. I'm done. It's minimal hair. It's fine. So. You guys, I don't know what else we're talking about here. Merch. Oh, if you guys want any merch like Camp Strange shirts, we still got merch, baby. Go to the link in bio, the link tree, and you can find our merch there. And go get yourself a shirt. It's the holiday season. Get your mom a shirt.
Yeah, get your mama a shirt.
And then she go, "What the fuck is this?" And you go, "Mama, it's a shirt." You never seen one of those, dumbass? And then you could karate kick her in the head. But yeah, just do that if you want to. There's nothing else to plug. David, do you have anything else to say?
I didn't eat lasagna for a long time because I thought the name was gross.
Dude, I didn't eat cheesecake for a long time because I fucking hated the name. Cheesecake. Lasagna's kind of gross too, huh?
The word lasagna makes me think of bad breath.
Oh, wow. I kind of get that.
Nasally bad breath.
I feel like the Mucinex guy lives in a lasagna.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that guy?
That little hat. He's like
That's
a
the Hat Man. That's the
door-to-door salesman.
That's the Hat Man.
The Mucinex guy's the Hat Man.
He's like, "Hey, what's going on? You got fucking allergies? Let me beat my wife inside your nose." You know that guy beats his wife. He's horrible.
100%.
That guy's fucking awful. Let's end it on that note. There we go. And don't forget to stay strange.